main man, new Morehead State head coach, Jonathan Mattox, who's a first-time head coach, and there's a lot of youthful enthusiasm with this gentleman. I'm excited to talk to you. I'm happy for you that you got this opportunity. Jonathan Mattox, thank you for being a part.
T.O., I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, of course, of course. Hey, so as a first-year head coach, or in this coming up, I want to kind of rewind back a little bit. How did this job come to be? How did this job come to be, rather?
Right.
And you're an assistant here for 7 years, so there's definitely some familiarity. I'm assuming the relationship stayed current.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually kind of came up through the ranks at Morehead. I was here for 9 years in total, starting as a graduate assistant, moving into a director of operations role, assistant coaching role, and then my last season as associate head coach. Then I left to go to Murray State for 2 years, but naturally, you're still going to keep up with, whether it was the program, the administration, the people on campus, the people in the community that I really developed great friendships with over those 9 years. You keep up with them. Preston obviously did a great job here. He had other opportunities that had come along over the course of the last couple of years, and he got the right one for him and James Madison, and this job opened up, and I got recommended for it. Still had to go through the process, talking to our athletic director, Kelly Wells, going through the Zoom calls, going through the on-campus interview, and I was fortunate enough to get the job.
Uh, you talk about that a little bit in being a first-time head coach. Has there been anything that kind of shocks you as far as, or what's been a little bit more difficult than you might have imagined, whether it's hiring staff, new responsibilities? What's kind of been the thing so far? And you haven't had this job long. It's been a month.
Right.
Yeah. What's been the thing that's just jumped out at you as kind of a first-time thing? Like, wow, I got to figure this out.
Yeah, probably the two things are hiring a staff and then doing things like this because you get pulled in so many directions. Recruiting is what it is. Retention, wanted to retain as many of the current guys as possible. Scheduling, you kind of know how you got to fill your schedule. So those are obviously three priorities, but then hiring, that's something you really don't typically do as an assistant coach, right? Is hire a staff. And then media. I spoke at Optimist Club last week. This today, you just get pulled in so many different directions. You don't get pulled in that many different directions as an assistant coach. So that's probably been my biggest challenge of how to manage all that.
Uh, you've worked with some really good head coaches. You work with Press, who's now at JMU. You've worked with Steve Perome, who's a friend of the Field of 68
Yeah.
at Murray State. I'm just kind of thinking, you obviously have ideas of what you're going to play like. How have those guys influenced you? How are you going to be similar to those guys? And how are you going to differ a little bit just from a playing style perspective?
Yeah, probably be a mixture of all the above. I think here are good teams at Morehead. We had a really good defensive identity. We had a really good toughness about us. We were really dominant on the glass. If you look at the better teams, the championship teams, we've got to keep all those things in place. I tell current players, recruits, parents all the time, you're not going to shoot it great every night. Some nights we may go, 14 for 30 from three. Other nights we may go 5 for 25. You're not going to shoot it great every night. You're not going to get a great whistle every night. But you can always have a defensive identity. You can always have a toughness. You can always be great on the glass. You got to figure out ways to win when you don't make shots. So we really hung our hat on that here. Coach Crum is a really good offensive mind. Different ball screen actions, different actions for shooters, playing fast, playing with freedom, playing in transition. So kind of got the best of both worlds, and just want to mix all those together based on personnel, obviously, but have as balanced of a team as we can have, both defensively and offensively.
We talked a little bit off camera as far as you only have 9 guys on, which, hey, let's be honest, Jonathan, that's more than most at this point. With those 9 guys, how have you been able to sell them on, hey, first year head coach, my first time doing this, you can believe in me. What has that process been like? And that's a little bit different as opposed to putting a head coach out in front, like, hey, you'd be great for this guy. And now it's changed. Hey, I think you could be great for me.
Yeah.
How have you been able to kind of sell that dream, if you will?
Yeah, these young men, they really don't care how much you know till they know how much you care about them. So First step is building a relationship with them. Some of them I've already had previous relationships with them through the recruiting process. Some of them I've coached, but just reconnecting with them, re-engaging with them, spending time with them, getting to know them as people, getting to know their parents, re-getting to know their parents. All those things are step number one. You know, I'm not gonna go in and call up a young man or go see him for the first time and say, hey, we're gonna run this, this, and this, and we're gonna play these 3 or 4 defenses. No. Tell me about you. What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? How's your family doing? How are you doing in the classroom? This is what I'm about. This is where I see you. And then we go from there. But step one is spending time with them as a person first and foremost.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM Sportsbook. We're going to be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners, the viewers of the Field of 68 throughout the year. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, you can use bonus code FIELD, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. The best part, all you need to do is deposit and bet $10 of your own hard-earned money to be eligible. Here's how you make it work. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using that bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure that you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. BetMGM is going to have some fun offers available throughout the NBA playoffs. Bet insurance tokens, odds boost, and what I love, a nice parlay booster too from time to time, as well as a ridiculous array of player prop bets for any sport that you could possibly imagine betting on. BetMGM is and always will be the king of the prop bet. So go download the BetMGM app, use the bonus code FIELD, and sign up today. And while I've got you, a quick request. The best way to support the Field of 68 content that you get for free is to engage with us. Rate and review the podcast. Like and share the YouTube videos. Tell your friends about us. It all helps in a world where the algorithm is king. And now, back to the show.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as, I guess, step 2, once you get them there, moving them in, all that, you guys, do you have 9 on campus, or are they coming here shortly? When do those guys get to campus at Morehead?
Yeah, guys will get to campus in early June. We do have a couple on campus just because there's a couple more weeks in this semester. So they'll get to campus in early June, and we'll have them here for 6-7 weeks in the summer. And we'll get going on the court, in the weight room with conditioning, in the film room, all the above.
So you're telling me recruiting still matters at Morehead with how things move about. Recruiting still matters. You can still get in and know the kids' parents and know what they're about, and still be able to get kids there as long as they fit your personality. And let's be honest. I mean, some of the advantages that are taking place at some of these Power 6 schools, it's not necessarily happening at Morehead. But you're selling yourself, you're selling relationships and things of that nature, and those things still matter. Here's my question. Morehead's had success over the last X amount of years, whether it be Preston, whether it be whoever who all came before him. Is there a bit of name recognition with Morehead State? Because you've had really good players come, you've had really good players transfer up. You look at Janai Broom and some of those guys, a guy that you recruited there and were in charge of his development while on campus at Morehead. Do players draw to the winning that Morehead State has basically supplied over the last X amount of years?
Yeah, absolutely. And those are things we talk about in the recruitment process. I've yet to talk to a recruit yet who doesn't want to play in the NCAA tournament. And I just take them through the lineage the last 4 years here. 2021, we win the OVC tournament, make it to the NCAA tournament. 2022, we lose in the OVC championship game. 2023, win the regular season, get upset in the tournament, made the NIT, beat your Clemson Tigers.
Yep.
2024,
that happened.
Yeah. 2024, win the regular season, win the tournament, make it back to the NCAA tournament. I'm honest with them. I was honest with the committee. We're not going to win the OVC tournament every year. That's probably an unrealistic goal or expectation to have. We're not going to play in the NCAA tournament every year. That's an unrealistic goal or expectation. But we're going to set ourselves up to be in position to play in the NCAA tournament by having a great regular season play in the non-conference, doing really well in conference play, And, you know, hopefully we can get to Saturday in the OVC tournament. And once you get to Saturday, championship Saturday, you have a chance.
What do you have to say about this? Would be one of my last questions. What do you have to say about the OVC? That's a league that's had a lot of fluctuation, a lot of teams leaving, you know, a lot of teams coming in. What are some of the challenges that league presents to Morehead, who's set at towards the top pretty much every year?
Yeah, yeah. The biggest challenge is, right, the target now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the recent success, you know, everybody is coming for us, and
Mm-hmm.
we've got to have the mindset of we're not going to sit back and be hunted. We're still going to go hunt. We're going to be the aggressor in recruiting and coaching and developing and scheduling, just in our mindset. We're not going to sit here and say, oh, well, we've done this the last X number of years. No, we're going to come out with an aggressive mindset every day, and what we're trying to do.
All right, last question for me. We talked about some of the new responsibilities. It's not season yet. What excites Jonathan Mattox the most? You've been highly ranked as a top level, like a really good assistant coach in whatever league you've been in for a long time. People know who Jonathan Mattox is, who are within the business. All right, Jonathan Mattox, new head coach, Morehead State. Thank you so much for taking time to be on Field of 68's Off the Carousel series. Appreciate you, man. Good luck. I'm sure I'll see you here over the next few weeks on the circuit. So
Okay.
congratulations to you. Excited to see what you're able to do there at Morehead.
Thanks, T.O.